You're watching the one podcast that won't abandon you, like Valve abandoned TF2. It's Hot Keys Esports. I'm one half of your host, Doban, and always joined by my right-hand man.
I am Preyter. Welcome to the show. The weapon is back in the hands of the people. You know, they have the power now.
It is. It's a lukewarm day to be a TF2 fan, but that seems to be every day for him. So, you know.
One day you're fighting against spin bots. The next day, you know, you're questionable things. I have questionable things going on over the TF2 side of the landscape.
On one hand, you get a community-run Source 2 port, sick nasty. The other hand, all your mythics are worthless.
Damn, I didn't even think about the econ, bro.
Yeah, no, it's get out now. This is not financial advice. I legally have to tell you that.
Diamond hands. Think of your hats.
TF3 to the moon.
It's all coming back on the blockchain.
But today we've got a different side of the road to drive on, and that's going to be over to the Riot Games. LTA full gear. We just had the collaborative tournament.
The end of Split 1.
Yeah.
The end of Split Uno. The Split 1 around the world has finished. And, you know, obviously it was a big deal for LTA specifically because the kind of final part of Split 1 for us was the first cross-conference competition between the LTA North and the LTA South, our southern brethren in arms.
Which controversially went as expected. Maybe not controversially if you're an LTA South fan.
Well, you know, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. Right. I want to, I mean, so yeah, the big thing here, to those who do not know, is that, yeah. So our first batch of, you may have been wondering, well, if you only tuned in on, you know, February 22nd or February 23rd, you may have been wondering, where are the South Conference teams? Why are they not playing? Why is it 100T, FlyQuest, C9, and TL? It's because they were all eliminated in the first round of cross conferencing.
Yeah. I feel like that bracket should have just been run South, North, and then the grand finals. Maybe, I don't know.
It's
some like seeding stuff for both sides, and then, you know, if you
here's the problem, man. Like, and this is like what I wanted to talk about, because like, okay, so like final stuff aside, I really don't even, because like that stuff kind of went to chalk. The only thing that was cool was seeing, I guess my first soapbox, the rise of 100T. It was genuinely great to see them do well. Them coming out kind of against all odds, becoming the first seed for North America when nobody expected it over FlyQuest.
Especially since they're proving wants to like obliterate them.
Yeah, that's part of this. Even proving it in the run back, right? Where 100T faces off against Fly again, and they beat them 2-1 to get into finals. Now, did they get handedly dispatched by TL in the finals? Yes. But that was also a surprise, because if you weren't paying it, for those who weren't paying attention, TL went into this cross-conference finals as America's 4th seed. They got beat by FlyQuest. They got beat by C9. They got beat by 100T. They were not looking good. They were looking very messy. T was not playing great in the jungle. You know, there's a lot of issues for TL. So TL coming back, getting to finals, and winning over 100 Thieves TL, or over 100 Thieves 3-0, I think was welcomed, because it's like, oh shit, it's cool to see TL actually back on top and that they haven't fallen off from last year.
Yeah.
So the finals were like fine. I was fine. Like C9, FlyQuest, you know, upsets and stuff for the north side are cool. And I don't have any issues there. And, you know, TL representing us at first stand is fine. Fine by me, right? No problems. No complaints. Mm-hmm. Now, what I want to bring up here is the cross-conference stuff. So the way the playoffs, so to speak, of Split 1 start, right, is, we had 4 seeds, 1 through 4, being 100T, Cloud9, FlyQuest, and then TL, versus the 4 seeds of, the South Conference. IE, which is, I think they're Isurus, right?
It's Isurus and another org, like, combined.
Yeah, Isurus Astral or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Isurus Astral being the number 1 seed, who played off against our 4th seed in TL. C9 played against Loud, so that was the 2nd seed versus their 3rd seed. Leviathan was their 2nd seed versus FlyQuest, who was our 3rd seed, and then 100T played against Pain, who was their 4th seed. So, totally fair seeding across the board. Obviously, no like inter-regional matchups. And, I think the thought in the back of everyone's mind was, okay, well, how is this going to go for the South Conference? And the answer, to long story short, to not bury the lead here, not great. Something to the tune of 8 games to 1. 100T versus Pain, 2-0, 100T. Leviathan versus FlyQuest, 2-0, FlyQuest. C9 versus Loud, 2-0 C9. Leviathan versus TL, 1-2 TL. And that was, like, the example I wanted to paint with this is, like, it's like, okay, they almost, not only did they almost get 8-0'd, they got their best team versus what was our worst team went 1-2. Like,
yeah,
it was a shit show. Like, it was a shellacking, a smackdown, if you will. And like, on one hand, I don't think that's really great for anyone. I don't think it's particularly great if you're an LTA South fan, and I don't know if you're like super happy with it as an LTA North fan. I mean, you're happy that your teams aren't getting done and dusted, but like, are they appetizing games? Not particularly. I think, although I will say, a particular highlight, one that I was telling you about when it happened, if people did not see Cloud9 versus Loud, I believe it's game 2. If you watch that game, you witness maybe one of the most atrocious starts for a top laner I have seen in competitive league off a lane swap, maybe
like,
ever.
Watched the first 5 minutes or whatever that you sent. And
yes,
yeah, man, that was rough.
Well, dude, they're down. So, like, I think I remember, like, someone was like, the point was at 4 minutes in, Loud was down 2K gold, like 4 minutes into the game, off of how atrocious this lane swap went. Like, their top laner, like Robo, up against Thanatos. Basically, he gets fucked out of like XP almost entirely, and then like they're forced to just kind of, they basically like put all the eggs in the, okay, well, we just dive the top lane basket to try to recover something. Dive goes poorly and he dies, or no, he doesn't die. The jungler dies. Yeah, he goes into they do like a 3 or 4 man dive on Thanatos in the top lane, who's being backed up by Blabber, by the way, because Blabber had time to clear his whole jungle while they were like scrambling to figure this out. So yeah, like they try to like, either. Huh?
It wasn't even like a high kill game. Like, I'm looking at the stats right now.
No, it was just an atrocious start off of a called out lane swap and shit, where like. And then, like I said, they tried to salvage it with this desperation dive to kill Thanatos. Their jungler dies in the process. The rest of them have to leave with low health bars. So here you are 4 minutes in. Cloud9 is up almost 2K. And the top laner, Thanatos to fucking Robo. Robo is level 2 to Thanatos is level 4. At 4 minutes into the game. Like, it was...
Yeah.
It was atrocious. Like
even at the top level, just the way league is balanced in most cases, right, matchup dependent, that is almost an unrecoverable lead.
It's terrible. In the 1v1, you're smoked. Like you really aren't. You cannot play the 1v1.
You can't. It's not like you can retreat to your jungle or anything like that to like catch up. You have to find a empty lane, but you're just gonna get rotated. Like you're fucked. Like
Yeah.
like
Basically, and he was playing Olaf too, so it's like it's not like he's gonna
no,
particularly have a great time hiding under his turret
yeah.
to farm either. Like it's bad. It was bad.
Yeah,
It was
no.
really really bad.
I mean, he managed to scrounge up 3 kills and that game 3 and 4, but yeah, I mean, 11-2 final score. Like in a how long was it? In a 28-minute, almost 30-minute game, 11-2 is kind of
No,
they lost 2 team fights, and then we're just like, that's game. That's it. And yeah, it stems from that horrendous laning phase.
yeah, no. I mean, it was a miserable start. Like I said, to be down that much at 4 minutes into the game, it feels like an absolute go next angle.
Yeah,
Any
dude.
team that's like knows how to play on a macro level can just turn that into so much early game momentum if they just don't play passively. Like,
Yeah,
oh my
like
god,
you've controlled like every part of your side of the map, and you now have like free range of their side at this point.
yeah,
Like,
the
walk in,
top
take
laner gets to do what he
objectives.
wants now. You will never be able to take a fight around Grubs at any point in
say
time.
that's
Now.
free
You've
Grubs.
seeded all the way down to Rift Herald.
If-
Basically, I would say all the way up till Rift Herald. Like
If
you're
Otacon
fucked. You have to give
spawns
up that
there
entire
too,
objective.
like even
Yeah.
though Otacon's like a mid game objective, right? Even then, without like a really coordinated fight, you're still just giving that up.
It's so cooked. It's
Yeah.
so cooked. Like plus like you're Olaf and you're massively behind, right? Like
Right.
do you even have the health pool to run at a carry at that point, you know? Like it's just so bad.
Especially
Like,
in the Cassante matchup, right? You don't want to be behind that.
no, like I said, yeah, no. I mean, in the top lane 1v1, like I said, that's cooked. There's nothing you can do about that unless you're like chain calling your jungler and the other like the Cassante is not respecting you.
Yeah, but even then, like,
But it's just not. It's not going to happen
even
in pro
then,
play. Like
your
it's just
jungler in that
not.
situation was a Skarner, and it's like, what's that? Like, Cassante's just gonna like put his shields up, and now you've been completely like negated.
Yeah, unstoppable out. Yeah,
like it's.
It was bad. It was one of the
real
most
question
atrocious
is,
lane
did they
swaps I've
lose
ever
the
seen.
laning phase because they lost in draft, or did they just lose it because they?
No, like I
lost?
said, if you look at what happened, it's just a terribly played lane swap. Like it starts off in a really terrible place where they like lane swap. They try to put a ward to catch a lane swap, but they put the ward too close to the turret. So Vulcan just kills it. He kills the ward. They kind of make like a 50-50 judgment call on like who's going where after he kills the ward. They call it wrong. And like once they call it wrong, it all just goes to shit. Like because if you watch what happens, they expect like the bot lane to go top, so they send their bot lane top and they send Robo top to try to like get like a triple kill, but they don't do the swap. So what ends up happening is Thanatos' top lane, just like by his lonesome, holding out against, because like realistically, like he can just sit under turret. He doesn't have to walk up. Like he doesn't care. Like he'll farm under turret.
Mm-hmm.
Robo is there splitting splitting XP with his bot lane, while C9's bot lane is sitting bot lane uncontested, hitting turret plates, and Robo is forced to run all the way from the top lane down to bot. Like, doing nothing for approximately 2 minutes. Like, it's atrocious.
Yeah. There's very little winning that.
And then, like, it's like, what is he? Like, he's just caught in just a terrible spot. Because it's like, let's say he runs all the way bot, right? Okay, at that point, by the time he gets to bot lane, the C9 bot lane is what? They're probably level 2 or level 3 apiece, and he's still level 1. Like, he's not going to be able to fight them anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be the same thing. Like,
He can't approach his wave, and even if he does, right,
No.
you get obliterated, or you get knocked low enough that they can
just dive you. Yeah,
I was
just
gonna
dive
say,
you under tower.
Just
Who
want to
cares?
dive, and then
Yeah, he basically that's what ends up happening. He gets caught on the shitty end of they badly
wonder-
call a swap. The swap doesn't happen, and then he is forced to essentially kind of run around looking for something to do for 3 minutes. And by the time they attempt a thing, the thing they attempt gets turned on them, and it just ends up being the worst early game you've ever seen.
I'm real curious to the popularity of like I'm sure lane swaps are common in LTA South, right? But like as a
Mm-hmm.
like I haven't watched any of their games, right? And this is gonna sound super ignorant to the people that do watch those games and be like, yeah, lane swaps happen all the time. But
Yeah.
you know how different regions react to things within the meta, right? You see it a lot with like the eastern regions, China and Korea,
Sure. Yeah.
reacting differently to things. Like their lane the way they execute lane swaps and how it's usually like it's not just the two, right? You'll see maybe three or even four people rotate for a lane swap sometimes just to kind of like
Yeah.
counter rotation or something. Like they're thinking about a bit more on a micro scale. But even then, like the thought process behind lane swaps in LTA South, like I'm curious to how popular that is and
Yeah.
like what their responses to them are. Just because like everyone's doing it, but everybody responds to them differently. So
No, it's true.
and then
It
seeing it
does
done
look
this
like an
way,
uncomfortability situation.
yeah,
Like that is definitely what it looks like if you watch the first few minutes of that game. They are caught in a situation that they don't know the best response to. And like I said, it's one of those things where it looks like they're just kind of stuck in hesitation mode. And then by the time they decide how to pull the trigger to try to pull themselves out of the hole, C9 have already set up a defense for it, right? Like
yeah,
Blabber's already top, so your 3-man dive top really doesn't matter because now you're diving. Sure, you're up a man, but it's like you're up a man against two guys that have the levels to fend off against your, like, they were diving with like a level 1, a level 3, and a level 2, you know? Like it's not like they particularly had a strong dive squad up against a level 2 Thanatos and a level 4 Blabber who had like full cleared his jungle. Who is Zyra, by the way. Like so yeah.
yeah.
It's yeah, it went atrocious, and it was definitely a notable highlight in my opinion. So yeah, the games were a smacking. And I've been thinking about it a lot, right? Because I think about my mixed I have like mixed emotions and feelings on it.
Mhm.
And I wanted to run them by you. And so obviously, for those who don't know, Latin America, and shout outs to them for this. This isn't like I'm not. I don't think this would come across as dogging on them, but just to be sure, um, very passionate fan base, very very passionate. Their crowds get loud, they get rowdy, a lot of good energy, that kind of stuff. Um, and I went into this watching the cross conference stuff, being like, okay, we're gonna go in. This is probably gonna be a SmackDown, and then like whatever, we move on. I wasn't too invested. I was kind of hoping for some good games, hoping my teams win, but I was like, I'm not too invested. I don't, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Scene one drops, right? Our first game, our 100T versus Pain happens. 100T. For those who don't know, this was in the final, the playoffs and stuff all happened in Sao Paulo, so they're in South America. 100T comes out to the Sao Paulo studio. They are voraciously fucking voraciously the wrong word, viciously booed. um, Boy, it is loud. It is everything you would expect. They were seen as the bad guys. This would happen for every team that walked out there. Didn't matter if you were FlyQuest, didn't matter if you were C9, didn't matter if you were 100T,
If you weren't a
TL.
Brazilian team, you were getting booed.
Yeah. Every single team that walked out into that studio against a Latin American team got fucking booed. They got yelled at. APA was telling a story where I forget who it was. Like one of the ADCs walked out and someone like held up an Uzi jersey at him and said, "This is your father" or something. Like
That's gnarly.
it was brutal out there, right? And
Yeah.
I like, so I'm seeing this and and I like I said initially, I had nothing on this, right? Nothing riding on it. I just wanted to see my teams win and move on, but no
Mhm.
personal stakes or investment. It wasn't really all that hyped. I see the
Yeah,
booing
no
and
facts.
fuck, man. Maybe this is your episode title, but nationalism is a hell of a drug when you can weaponize it.
Ugh.
It's a because I saw a bunch of people boo my teams, and I was like, all right, well, fuck it. It's no, it's
Yeah,
America time. It's liberation.
we
Like
got the flag on our back. Eagle
like
screech.
you're gonna boo at my teams, brother. You're about to learn what it means to be a part of American soil, baby. Like I,
Definitely did
this,
learn.
and they did learn, and there was like when I tell you there was like it is truly like sports fan mentality, right? Like
Yeah.
it goes deeper than
In
maybe it doesn't. Maybe nationalism is just
in
sports on a political
soccer,
level. Maybe that's the fucked up part about
in
this.
soccer or
Um,
football, as some people would call it, there's a
it's
there's a type of fan called an ultra. I think it started with the Italians. Uh,
okay.
and so the ultras are like the kind of like the like belligerent trash talking fans that you get at like sporting
Right.
events, but in soccer they have a name for them, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
And so
That makes okay.
those are the
That's good
ones
to
that are
know.
like doing the chants and singing the
Right.
songs, slamming beers, getting rowdy, like causing problems for other people, calling out other
The hooligans,
the
yeah. The
hooligans, yeah,
soccer
the
hooligans as
soccer
they're called in
hooligans.
the in London and shit. Yeah.
Right, right, yeah. So those are the ultras. Inter Miami has the Miami Ultras, which is funny because there is a Miami Ultra that is just an EDM festival. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's
yeah, it already exists. But
yeah.
no, yeah. So we have the Miami Ultras, and they're really bad at being ultras, from what I hear. But still, they exist, and yeah, that's what you get out there with the esports because you see it in CS also, right? They
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
when they had I am Rio, and this was I'm always gonna forget his name, the like British guy that's really angry about Counter Strike all the time.
Richard Lewis.
Yeah, Richard Lewis. Shout out that guy. He's great. Sometimes he's got wild takes sometimes.
He's
He,
said some questionable
yeah,
things.
he's
Yeah.
got some wild takes. Very questionable ways of saying things, but he does say it. So
Does do it. He's out there. He's
yeah,
saying
no,
stuff.
I mean, listen, PGL pays him to be on stream, so
True.
I can't say I'm
You raise a good point.
PGL's not paying me to be anywhere. But yeah, no, you see it in CS with the Brazilian teams also. It's not just Brazilian
Hmm.
teams, but it specifically this example is because we're in Sao Paulo for League. They went to Rio for
Yeah.
CS. This is where I'm drawing the comparison, right? And
Right.
he was saying the Brazilian teams they show out for the Brazilian teams that show up, right? Thanks to the
Right.
Brazilian teams show out for the Brazilian fans show out for the Brazilian
Show up for
teams.
the Brazilian teams.
Right,
Right.
which is yeah, makes sense, right? It's your
Sensible.
people.
Yeah.
You want to see
No,
them do
that's
well. You're going
logical.
out rooting for the home team. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But the moment they lose, and you see this also like when League and Dota went to China for their
Well,
championships,
yeah, I was gonna say this is the Hongdo library
the
stuff where
the
like they were talking
arena
about how Korea was
clears
silent when the
out.
Korean team was not there.
The moment that there were no more Brazilian teams like in the running for to win, the seats were empty, like the arena was
Hmm.
quiet, like it was
Hmm. So one thing, in just in like a response to that I will say, because
Mhm.
I'll be real, I expected something similar. Was I saw every South Conference team get eliminated, and I was like, well, I wonder how many people are gonna be here, like come like finals weekend. And apparently, from what I have heard,
Mhm.
the arena itself, or the studio, the LTA South studio, because that's where they did it out of,
Yeah. The
was
Riot
sold
Games
out
arena
on
in Sao
all of the
Paulo.
finals days.
Oh.
Um, Now you can partially attribute that to I know Team Liquid has a pretty big fan base out
Mhm.
in Brazil
They have a
specifically.
facility in
They have
Sao
a
Paulo.
facility out there. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. They literally have a facility. That's where Team Liquid like stayed and shit.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. Like maybe it was one of those things where all the South American teams got eliminated, but like you can
I feel
always
like
fall
also
back
with
on
League,
TL or whatever.
right?
Um,
Like Counter Strike is so much of an institution out there where it's like
Mhm.
that is like the lifeblood of esports in Brazil.
Right.
So like with League, I don't think it's not that it doesn't carry as much weight, but there's like less of
As
an
do or
attachment
die.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that
Yeah.
kind of plays into it a bit.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it was like it's something I find it, and I guess what I'm saying is like, because yeah, they booed my teams. So obviously I'm gonna relish. And like it was one of those things where like yeah, Payne would get like a kill right or something, and like you would hear the crowd go nuts. Like I'm not kidding. Like it was like so fucking loud. Like they would go insane. But usually how all these games went is like someone they would get a kill here, they get a kill there, and then slowly like NA would win a team fight, and then NA would usually turn that team fight into like multiple team fight wins and a chokehold on the map, and you would watch whatever team they were up against bleed out on CS and like gold until game was over, right?
Mhm.
Um, and in the times that the NA would just start winning team fights back to back, silence. I have never relished in silence so much. But yeah, that is really the competitive nature of sports teams and regional rivalry in play, bro. Because what I can tell you, like, whenever that crowd would go silent, as like 5 Pain members would drop, and in a team fight, I would sit there with the biggest grin on my face and just be like, "Damn, it's real quiet in there now, huh?"
That's why we got to
Every
go to more
fucking
lands. The USA chants go hard.
like, oh my god, listening to that silence was so sweet. And then, like I said, it all concluded, and I was like, man, it's crazy. I went from, all it took was people from not my home region to boo my teams, and suddenly I'm just all down for their. I'm preying on their downfall. I'm relishing in their destruction, and I'm fucking I'm grinning at their sadness.
Preyter
It's
would
crazy.
bleed and die for this country the moment someone says anything about it. In esports, of course. In esports.
Depends. Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, depends on what we're talking
Yeah,
about,
no.
actually. But yeah,
Everything else
When
can
it-
kind of kick rocks, but when it
yeah,
comes
no, true and real. Everything else can kick
when it
rocks.
comes to sports or esports, he's all in. The Olympics come
I'm
around.
in there.
I've never
Yeah,
I've never
no,
seen I've never seen a more patriotic person.
I watched the Olympics when skateboarding was added as an Olympic sport.
Yeah. Which the
That was sick.
Brazilians did win.
We didn't win that. The Japanese did,
Yeah.
which was whack. But that's what it is. Um,
They're really good at skateboarding though.
that's what I have heard. That is what I've heard and what I've seen. Is they are very good at skateboarding.
Shout out
Um,
Luis Mora. Maybe we get him on the show. He has nothing to do with esports. He owns a skate brand.
Badass.
But yeah, maybe he has thoughts on esports. I don't know. He lives in Japan now. He married a Japanese woman like in 2018, and yeah.
And if that's not the American dream, what is? In our
Listen,
modern
man,
era.
they kind of did that in the 60s.
True, true and real.
Shout out Vietnam, the boys.
I can't. I just watched Full Metal Jacket like 2 weeks ago. I can't shout out Vietnam. It weighs too heavy on my soul.
It's too soon for him.
But yeah, I guess that's the thing is I don't know. I'm wondering my question to you, my first question about this LTA stuff, coming to you after that whole rant about my disinterest turned into nationalistic pride, turned into like introspective reflection. Is it working as intended? Do we need more of this? Does it not matter? Does it all suck because like the teams are just gonna get fucking mollywopped? Like, what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts?
I got a two-parter here.
Okay.
Because two big points you brought up. Is it working? No. Do we need more of this? Yes. They kind of play into each other. It's not working because there's like no advertising for cross-region stuff in general, and then when it does happen, LLA, CB, LOL are less developed regions compared
Yeah,
to NA
it's not
and the
their fault,
EU.
right? It's not their fault. Like
Yeah,
I
they
don't,
just don't have enough
it just is
international
what it is. Yeah,
experience, right?
yeah.
They don't perform very well at MSI. They get booted out of Worlds almost
They
instantly.
were called wild. They were called wild card regions. Like
Yeah, like
and
it's
that's
them.
just it's
What is
just
it? LP.
Japan was the same thing. Same
Yeah,
with Oceania. Like
they combined that into like League Pacific now, LCP.
I always forget where we're at outside of LTA, Korea, China, and
Yeah,
EU. That fifth region is like
yeah,
that, like whatever you're talking about. Yeah.
it's yeah, LCP, Talon, Secret Whales,
So it's
Viking,
a mixture of like
Detonation.
Oceania, the
Yeah,
Vietnam region,
they
stuff like that.
combine
Yeah.
like Southeast Asia, Oceania,
Right.
and I guess Japan, if you want to consider that its own region, because it's like
Yes, I believe Japan would be a part of
because
that as
it's
well, because
two
that was a
Japanese
region. The
teams.
LJL, I would say the LJL was a region, so they would
Yeah.
have had to have been like bundled in somewhere.
So yeah, it's Fukuoka, SoftBank, Hawks,
True.
yeah, and
Yep. The
Detonation
Hawks.
Focus Me,
Yep.
and then a
BFM.
couple
True.
teams from Taiwan and whatever. But yeah, anyways, yeah, those they were wildcard regions. They're just regions that don't get enough interaction with cross region stuff like higher tiered regions like China, like
It's just
Europe, like
it's just
Korea.
developmental regions, man. Lower player bases,
Yeah.
less infrastructure for a long time, less money. Like,
Yeah, the esports scene wasn't geared towards league per se or wasn't big enough, right? Like it's the same reason why we don't see like MENA, right? Or even like an African like league thing. Like there's no like Moroccan teams, there's no Nigerian
yeah,
teams, right? It's just because the scene there isn't big enough to warrant it, right? The want for it, the need for it isn't big enough. And
it's yeah.
yeah, so you run into that issue to jump back onto my original point. You run into that issue with this team, and I hate to bring it back to Counter Strike, but I watch a lot of Counter Strike. It's the same thing that we saw with Imperial, right? Where it's just teams that aren't getting the exposure to this tier of play, and now they are, which is good because they're going to learn from it and they're going to keep improving because of it. But we need more of it,
Right.
right? And then the problem with that is, yes, we definitely need more inter-region play. We need more advertising for the other regions, right? That way,
Mhm.
People can communicate, talk more strategy on forums, and get the player base more excited about playing League and winning games. And then on top of that, the infrastructure for it just isn't there, though, right? We're playing on two separate continents, right? It's not like we're playing, Canada, US
Well,
to
yeah,
Mexico. We're playing,
you don't want motherfuckers playing online games, right? Like,
yeah, like we're
yeah.
playing Canada, US, Mexico to all of Mesoamerica and like main South America, right? Like we're
Yep. No, I mean Brazil. Like that's where the other studio is, right?
like unless you're building your data center in like the Keys, right? Like you're not hitting like you're building the Riot Games, the LTA Riot Games cross region data center in San Juan, Puerto Rico, right? You're like you're not gonna get like, and even
I
then
was
like
gonna say,
you're not
even
getting
well, it's like you build it and what it gets fucking decimated once a year during hurricane season. Like, I don't.
the president shows up and is like, we're gonna rebuild it. It's gonna be bigger and better. League of Legends is gonna be great. American pastime.
My good buddy Elon's great at it. He's rank 1.
My buddy Elon,
He has
challenger
Chinese
player.
kids. He has Chinese kids play for him. It's really efficient.
He's building a super team. It's gonna be the best.
It's gonna be the greatest American team you've ever seen. It's got 3 Koreans, one Chinese man, one another Filipino boy, and an American coach.
An American coach. American engine. That's the American dream. Friends to enemies. Enemies to friends. Oh man, it's a good bit.
Oh God, kill me.
But yeah, no, like it's it's almost impossible to have that run, right? And then maybe
Yeah,
maybe you like split the
you
season,
can't do it.
right? You run half of LTA in Brazil, half of it, and then like you bring the teams to LA to sit there and play for like a couple months. Like the logistics of it all just doesn't seem feasible. The infrastructure doesn't allow it to happen. So you either need more tournaments, like the end of Split 1 for your cross region stuff throughout the season. Like you need like a start of the split tournament and then an end of the split tournament, right? Because that way split starts, right, new patch, whatever, the teams can kind of play against each other, lab it out, and then go back to their home regions, develop their strategies that way, and then come back based on what they know from each other's regions now. Come back at the end
Right.
of the split, run it back, and then kind of put that into practice, right? Maybe there's something in the middle, but then again, the split is only what, like 2 months long?
The first split is, and I do want to say, I think I've seen a lot of people like trying to like treat split one like it's an entire spring split, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, bro, it's not. It's nowhere near the length of that. Like, it's what, 2 months?
Yeah.
Like, it is a weird like kind of novelty split. Um, yeah, it's like a weird novelty split. It's like a month. It's like a month long.
So yeah, it started the 25th and ended the
Or
9th.
2 months, not a month. It's like 2 months long.
No, it ended split 1 ended February 9th. That's like not even a month.
No, it technically, the like initial part of it goes until
Okay.
like the 23rd, yeah,
Okay, okay,
of
okay, okay.
February. So it's 2 months.
Cuz okay, yeah, cuz split 2 starts in April. I see. I
Yeah.
see. Okay. So, sure.
Yeah.
2 months, right? And
First
maybe
stand, which is like technically the international event for Split 1, I think
yeah,
happens in
maybe you
March.
have like your crossover at the end of the 1 month mark, right? Everybody's kind of like every team has played each other already. You go, you play internationally, right? And then you go back, you finish off the split, and then you go back and you play internationally again. Maybe that's how you have to do it. But again, that's
Mhm.
from a business standpoint for esports, right? That is so much money to fly
And this
the
entire the
entire
entire point of this was to save money in the first place.
yeah
Yeah.
to send two regions back and forth from each other. That's 8 teams, 40 players,
Yeah.
not including the coaches, right? That like you're
And staff on top of that, because there's
plus
probably one
staff,
or
right?
two
Because
on top of the coaches as
coaching
well.
staff, they have to send their social media guys. The league has to send their
Yep.
social media guys. Like,
Yep.
because like what? The LTA South, like, oh, why don't you have the South content creator? Because they're hired for South. They don't care about our region. They're not paid to worry about our region. What, you're gonna make them work overtime to do that? Yes, sure, whatever. Like, dude, I don't
No, I mean,
like it.
I hear what you're saying.
It needs more. It can't get more. Therefore, it will fail as this like grand idea to combine them. It's a good idea, but they can't make it happen unless Riot Games has like fiber optic, like unless they shoot a satellite into the atmosphere only for League of Legends for their signals, and we get the Elon Musk Starlink or whatever to power it. I don't know, man. I don't know what needs to happen to make that work, but it's something drastic like that.
Okay, so follow up question
Yes,
that we were putting down. Do you think it is a mistake that Split 2 has no cross regional play at all?
absolutely.
So you do think that is a mistake?
Yes.
I'm inclined to agree with you. For the
I
record,
it
I after this, I'm inclined to agree with
it
you. Or after
reinforces
watching this.
it reinforces everything that was wrong with the end of Split 1, right? The underdeveloped region, underserviced region, right? Not getting okay. Dial it back a bit. Worlds what
Okay.
2024, right? CB Law
Yeah.
makes it out of like Swiss.
They beat 100 Thieves, and like fucking 100 Thieves doesn't make it out of play-ins for the first time an American team has ever done that in American
Yeah,
history. Yeah.
and so which is amazing, right? Dark horse run. Nobody thought it was possible, but they did it. They have to play
Yep.
T1, which is criminal, but I
Yep.
digress. right? So, but still, that happened, right? That inspires hope for the region. The next year, they kill the region entirely, combine them. So
Well, it
already,
was known going into that, so they were fighting with a chip on their shoulder. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they're like, hey, here's a reason to care about LTA South now, right? Look at what they can do.
Yeah.
Like, look, they beat an NA team at Worlds. They
Hmm.
played T1 at
It
Worlds,
did.
right? Like the first, I think this is
Yeah.
like the first time that a Latin American team has ever played a Korean team in any professional capacity in League of Legends history, right?
Possibly. Yeah. I don't know.
Outside of like some grassroots like online tournament where you're playing on like 400 ping, right? In a formal Riot Games format, this is like the first time ever. Almost, maybe like in Swiss stages or whatever, but still main stage. We're talking big leagues here, right?
Mhm.
You then, right? We know they're going to kill the region. They kill the region, axe it. All these teams are a part of the same organized league now, but we've divided into two divisions. Okay, that works for football. Why can't it work here? Football's across a country. This is across a continent and a half. That's why it doesn't work. We then go into one international event at the end of the split, having never played each other prior to this, having only just heard about what the other side is doing. And at the end of it, that just doesn't matter because, like, okay, like we're doing this, they're doing that. So, like, I haven't seen it, I haven't played against it, I don't know how it feels. I haven't seen the strat in practice. Like, I haven't had to react to any of it. They play each other, get rolled, like we talked about before. Decimated. What, 7-1 was their record?
8-1. But yeah.
8-1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and then the next split, it's like, okay, well, they got beat pretty bad, right? They definitely need more practice with teams of that caliber.
Hmm.
What's next? Like, when's their next showdown, right? Because it was kind of cool, as you were saying before, that kind of nationalist spirit that came into you when you heard the trash talk
It's
from
a hell
the
of a
other
drug.
side. You were just
Yeah.
like, yo, I want to beat these guys, right? That fired you up. That made you care about it. Even if you didn't really care about LTA South all that much, you cared about it for a little bit. You cared
Yeah.
about those. You cared about those teams
That's
losing,
true.
right?
True.
None
I
of
was prayed
that.
on
None of
doubtful.
that. This split. None of that kind of fire in your heart, right? You can root for a
Not until
team,
MSI. Yeah.
right? Not until yeah, exactly. And then even
Yeah.
then, right? MSI is gonna have top regions there.
Everybody.
It's
Yeah.
gonna have
Yeah.
China and Korea, right?
Hmm.
It's they we probably won't even get to see like an LTA rematch of like Leviathan and
No,
FlyQuest,
I mean you're
right?
right. That's
Like
that's that's real. Yeah.
it's I don't know,
Yeah.
it's a disservice to that region. It is like I'm looking at what was the split once that LTA North, sorry. No, it's a disservice to that region. It's a disservice to their fans, everybody that puts in the effort to like make LTA South, you know, enjoyable to watch and everything. It's a slap in the face to them from Riot Games to not have more of these competitions and to not give them the chance to develop their region further.
It's yeah. I don't know. At first I was like whatever on it, and then like now after having seen this, I do think it's a little weird that Split 2 doesn't have a cross regional proportion. It's basically like okay, well, Split 1 you see each other in this fearless format. Um, it does whatever, and then it's like, okay, well, we'll see you guys fucking 8 months down the road when we're competing for the last world's, spot or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. Um,
Side tangent: Leviathan has like the best logo, by the way. It's so
the
sick.
shark one, it's pretty good.
No,
Or
that's
no,
the Cirrus.
yeah, that's
Leviathan's
Isurus. Yeah,
the
Leviathan's the dragon. Yeah,
yeah. No, it's so
yeah,
cool.
both are good. Both
So
are
so
good. The
cool.
Leviathan one's good. Um, is Leviathan? No, Loud. Loud is yeah. Loud's
Loud's the big triangle.
Well, I forget if Loud is the one of those teams. Their mid laner, they call him uh like Latin Faker or something. Um, and I forget which team has Latin Faker, but I guess it doesn't matter because he didn't make it very far.
Is it Pain? Because they're at Worlds, no?
No, that's Teton. It was a mid laner. I
No, they're
just
bot
don't.
laner.
It might
Teton's
have
a
been
bot
Loud.
laner. Dynakadu. Dynakadu. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is the mid
No, that
laner for
wasn't
Pain.
him. That well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't I because the most famous member of Pain's Teton,
Oh
who's
yeah.
like but
Is it
this is like
Tinones?
a mid lane. Who?
Tinones?
Maybe is he the mid
Or
laner for Loud?
yeah. And then Cody is the
So it
mid
might be
laner
him.
for Leviathan. He's Chilean though.
It might be Tinones. Maybe I think it might have been Loud. I could be wrong. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it'd be nice if I knew more, but I don't really know
Yeah.
anything about the South, and Riot hasn't given me an official broadcast in order to watch to really get their story.
They
So
don't rerun the
perhaps I
broadcast
never will.
simultaneously with LTA North either, because I know those games happen first, right? The South games.
LTA South games happen first, and then there's like minimal overlap between like
Yeah, like
the last game
their
and the
last
first
game and
game.
our first game start at the same time, but there's no like
Yeah,
there's
it's
no rerun simulcast of the games happening, right? So I can't choose to watch them when I'm awake in the north, right? On a
It's also like I said, I don't. To me, it is just insane that there is no official broadcast. And they're just like, oh, watch a fucking co-streamer. Like
yep.
it's fucking nuts, dude.
Or
Like,
just spectate the games in client and figure it out.
yeah, I don't. Oh my god, yeah.
Use our spectating tools. Use the famous Riot Games League of Legends spectate in-game spectating tools.
Like all respect to fucking
2 minute
Dom
delay,
and
fog of
like shit
war.
like that, but like, god damn, dude. Like, I Will Dominate is not going to tell me the story of Latin America.
Yeah.
This is not going to happen.
Get me down there. Riot Games, you hear me right now? Get me down there. I'll make it happen. I'll get people hyped.
I need it. Um, yeah. So that that was I was in a tizzy about that for a bit. And then the only other thing for the LTA that I really want to talk about was 100 Thieves, right? Seeing 100 Thieves and its players do their thing was great. I loved it. I was like, wow, Sniper's fucking sick. We love Sniper. River's fucking sick. FBI is great in the bot lane. Like they've got like fun personalities. Like Sniper's like this fucking like Zoomer goofball, and he's like a really good time, and the vibes are good, and all this shit. And I'm like, fuck, dude, this team when this team hits, man, this team hits. Fucking quad, like quad is or quid, not quad. Fucking, why do they do that, man? Why are their names like that? Uh, Dude, it's fucked up. Quid and Quad, the two of the best mid laners in North America, and they play for different teams. They're both mids. Um,
Both Korean mid
but
laners.
no, I mean literally, they're both Korean mid laners. One plays for ViQuest, one plays for fucking 100T.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I am talking about Quid. Yeah, Quid's fucking awesome. He's a sick mid laner. He's also like good vibes, like pretty funny on the mic when he gets his chances. And I'm just like, man, the squad's so sick. And then I'm reminded that that fucking org wants to leave the league. Like, come
You
on.
think they're gonna
I
sell
just
the
like,
team to another org that'll like pick up the slot?
who knows? The
You
pie
think
in the
Bleed
sky
Esports
hope,
is
right,
gonna
is that like
buy their slot and pick up that team?
if you were buying in and you separate this team, you're fucking dumb for one.
Yeah,
Like
no.
straight up. Like it would be nut. Like let's say you're an org who's gonna take the 100 team slot, you should buy the team outright,
Yeah.
coaches and all. Like it would be insane to do otherwise. Um, that shit aside, like the dream is that maybe fucking with the success that the team has, they decide to stick around. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's just like that was the other thing that just pissed me off the whole time. It's just like this team is so good. They're doing well. They're good at like branding for the league because like they're all people bitch nonstop. Like all you see on like the League of Legends subreddit and stuff when people complain about like current competitive is just like, oh, all of the players that I knew are gone, and none of these players have personality. And it's like, man, if you're watching this, like not even true. Like 100 Thieves has great personalities. Cloud9, fucking Sven, Vulcan, like those dudes have great personalities. All of FlyQuest, Bwippo, fucking love him or hate him, like they play the villain real well. Like like fucking FlyQuest has fantastic personalities. So like they're out there. Does every org have them? No, and like that's the problem. Is like yes, there are definitely orgs that should do a better job of getting their players out there and like making them more. They're just like trying to show off like your players' personalities. But 100 Thieves certainly is not one of them. Like I said, everyone like Sniper's out there. He's doing the work, the social work, the social media work, the branding work. Like he's getting himself out there. And like he's funny and he's a good time and like the team has good vibes and they're fun. Like it's good shit. And yeah, it's just really annoying that I'm watching this team not only like talk the talk from the social standpoint, but are walking the walk in game. They're looking good. They're beating American top teams. They're one of the best teams in the region. And just every time I'm excited for them, I got to think about like, fuck, this team might not make it to next year because their org wants out, and who knows if the team gets to stay together, when they come in.
Yeah, it's
Why? Like
maybe it's a money thing. I don't know, man. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
It really is just disappointing that we, the second time we're going to talk about NA talent kind of just dissolving out of the region, right? We talked about it with Jojo Pyun, who's on Koi now, or Mad Lions Koi or whatever.
No, yeah, Mad Lions Koi.
Yeah, he's on MLK.
God bless.
But yeah, now you're gonna see the same thing happen with 100 Thieves potentially, right? Like worst case
we
scenario,
don't know,
this
right?
team dissolves after this season, and these players get paychecks from Europe or whatever cross region.
Please God, no. Like that's all I'm gonna say. In that, I would. I can't say that. I can't say that on a publicly recorded thing. So never mind that. I would be distressed if this if we end up losing like people like fucking River and Quid and fucking Sniper.
I was gonna say new talent
God,
like Sniper. Like Sniper gets picked
here's
up
the thing
by
about here's the thing about
Nipper
Sniper, right?
NRG or something, man. That would be heartbreaking.
Yeah. Here's my thing about Sniper. Jojo Pyun was like a war crime, right? Like anyone will say that because that dude was like arguably a generational talent, one of the best mid laners to ever come out of North America in his short career, and we lost him to Europe, and like that shit is insane.
Yeah.
And outside of the jokes about, literally the only good thing that came out of Jojo Pyun going to Europe. Because it was all bad, by the way. There was nothing good about that. That was terrible for the region. It was embarrassing for the region, straight up. The only good thing we got about it were jokes about how Jojo Pyun going to Europe is manifest destiny. It's maybe literally the only good thing we got out of it. It's just American colonization. So, and like I said, that dude was a generational talent. Sniper is very good, right? I don't think he's Jojo Pyun good. I don't think he's like that same level of talent, but he is. He's a very good top laner, and he's very early in his career. So like, there's room to grow there. So like, is Europe probably? I mean, I guess if they're desperate, maybe someone's trying to poach him. But like, yeah, that would just be fucking insane. Like, it's there's no reason why anyone really, now that I'm like, the more I think about it, like I think about who's on 100 Thieves, no one on 100 Thieves should be going to another region if that org leaves. Like, it's Ayla's a great support, Quid's an amazing mid, Sniper's a great top, River's one of our best junglers, FBI's one of our best ADCs. Like, yeah, literally, there's no reason why anyone on that team should be allowed to like. Why an org should let them leave the region is more what I the actual phrasing. Um, yeah, God, no, that would be criminal. Like,
I'm trying to think of orgs that could pick him up. Like if like worst case, like I'm going through the list in my head, and I'm like, damn,
well, it's
dude.
like we don't. That's the thing is we don't know what's going on with this slot. We
Yeah,
don't know how long 100 Thieves has like their temp slot. We don't know if like they're just gonna have the temp slot until they decide that they don't want to leave anymore. So like there's no telling like really what's going on with that team. And then like you said, if another team moves in, then it becomes a question of okay, does that team want their roster? Does that team want to build a roster from scratch? Which, like I said, I think it would be insane if you were taking the 100 Thieves slot to not like be like, yeah, we'll take your roster, we'll take your coaching staff, like all of that shit. Like
yeah.
because it's a squad that's proving to work like actively right now. Made finals. Like
Yeah. They made finals. I mean, didn't win the whole thing, but still made finals. Had a insane run, kind of just like murking
I was say
everybody throughout the
had
tournament because nobody thought they were gonna do it.
no, I mean
Yeah,
everyone figured they were probably maybe the fourth or fifth best team in the region,
yeah.
but they beat FlyQuest in convincing games. They were beating Team Liquid during the regular part of the season.
Hmm.
They took games off Cloud9. They were playing well. They went up against all of the top teams of the region and proved they could get the better of them in one way or another. What are the finals kind of a shit show? Not even really. Like they had good early games. I think they 100 Thieves has like a problem where 100 Thieves will. It is kind of their blessing and their curse where they will just kind of fight you over everything. Like, it doesn't really matter how good or bad the fight is, they'll just fight over it. Um, and I think when they play against Team Liquid, it can bite them in the ass because they're so willing to fight anything. If Team Liquid, when Team Liquid is playing smart, they will bait you into terrible fights. Like they will have really good fights set up and just be like, yeah, sure, come fight us and see what happens. And to me, that was that whole finals. It was all decided by Team Liquid setting up a really good fight around an objective, and 100 Thieves throwing caution to the wind and saying, yeah, no, we'll fight them there when
Yep.
they absolutely shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And that's how they lost most of their team fights. Like, pretty much.
No, give Immortals their slot back, but give them the current Hundred Thieves roster and staff. And you know what?
I kind
There
of
you
hate
have it.
that, but maybe.
The org's legacy kind of leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth, but
A little bit.
listen, man, it's just a brand. They have good players. It'll be fine.
To me, it's both though.
It'll
Like
be
you need to
fine.
do shit with them. I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
No,
Because that's the thing is like I want an org that not only is going to come in and take the roster,
right.
do shit,
Yeah,
put them out there, let them.
yeah, like you
I
said
don't
with the
know.
socials and everything. That's the good part about 100
Like I
Thieves is
said,
there's
Sniper's
a
a great
content org.
personality. He's a
Yeah.
great personality. He's great. If you're an org, you should be using that. Like
Maybe complexity. I don't know. I don't
complexity would
know.
be cool. That's not a bad
Complexity or
one.
nouns, I think would be great. You know what? Nouns is
Nouns
kind
is
of
on
on
the
the
come
up and
up.
up. I was gonna say, yeah,
I was gonna say nouns is on the come up.
nouns would be cool. They've also got like a super dope like content division for their. They
It's
have
cool.
a, I think it's like Nouners or something like that, or
They
Nounish or
picked
something like that. They've got like a YouTube channel where they do like artsy stuff, like those like group artists, kind of like BuzzFeed type videos now. But
I
it's under
saw
like the nouns banner.
they like picked up Plup as like a melee player and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
he's been on nouns for a bit. I think him and PPMD.
PPMD, I don't know. I know they
Unless he's
according
like
to their website they got
retired.
Aklo, Junebug, and Plup is what it
Oh, okay.
says. No.
Maybe I'm wrong. Is
Um
PPMD still on EG?
fuck no.
That's also barely that hurts me.
Yeah,
That hurts me
yeah,
deeply.
yeah. It's yeah. No, they're kind of on the come up. That is true. Um, but yeah. So I don't know. Do you have any closing thoughts on my woes with LTA? Any suggestions or anything, or do you wanna go to my next regionally fired up topic?
I don't really have it, man. Like my closing thoughts on it are more inter-region stuff. Don't let 100 Thieves die.
Please,
Um,
God, that's that does summarize everything I am talking
that's
about with honestly the 100 Thieves shit. It's really just my plea of like, please God, make sure this
these
team stays
players are
together against
too
all
good.
odds. Yeah.
Don't let them leave.
I don't care if it's 100 Thieves. I don't care if it's another. Just make sure this team and its coaching staff stay together, please. Like, okay, so we move. A similar battle between the North and South occurred in a game elsewhere very recently. This kind of showed up on my radar about a week ago, and I watched it and it was great. So SFL Street Fighter League finals.
Not South Florida.
Uh, yeah, right. Yeah, Street Fighter League US happened over this last week. I forget the exact day. But it was good. I do recommend anyone if you're a fan of Street Fighter. They were really good matches, really good sets. It was really cool. I'm a big fan of the SFL format, Street Fighter League format. It is a team-based format, so it is teams of four. They have a whole setup where like you have like home and away. Essentially, the way it works is you have, like I said, four people. You choose three players to go up in a first, second, and third. The first and second match are worth 10 points. The third match is worth 20 points. And if you're tied, there's like a tiebreaker match that's worth 5 points, right? And that's like the general system. You have a regular season where they play a double round robin, and then the top four teams in points move on to playoffs. Um, the home and away system's cool. Basically, if you're the home team, you get an advantage where the away team has to announce an hour before you're supposed to play. I read the rule book yesterday, so I know the exact times and shit. At least 1 hour before you're supposed to play, the away team has to announce it's three players in their positions, so their first, second, and third player, as well as the character they are starting on. And then the home team basically gets to announce right before the match starts, this is who we are putting in and this is who they are playing. So you basically have you can, if you're the home team, you get to kind of pick the matchups, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you want to play out. But yeah, like I said, it's a cool system. It's team based. The whole idea is, yeah, you're playing with a team throughout the season. All the team is like on comms during matches too, so like you can technically like they can talk to each other like while they're playing. And I've really liked the format for a while. My biggest problem with Street Fighter League was in the US at least. So it's weird because they treat it differently depending on regions. And I think they need to kind of universalize and standardize it because in Japan and EU this year, they are live. Like it's a live streamed event. Basically, it happens, it's all streamed live. They show it to you live, whole thing. The US, it's pre-recorded and they release them like weekly episodes. And something about that just really takes a lot of the wind out of the sails for me. Like it really, I think, hurts the product. Finals was live, obviously, because it's like a big deal. And yeah, I think it enhanced it, Like I wish the whole thing was live. I wish we didn't have to do the pre-recorded part of the season and just did it all of SFL US live. Like I don't really know why we don't. But yeah, basically the story of the finals this year, right, was Team FlyQuest, consisting of everyone's favorite Street Fighter player, Punk the God, was team captain of FlyQuest. He had Chris CCH, who's a really good Ed player. Also plays some other stuff, but mostly Ed. I would say is what he's known for.
Hmm.
Psycho, one of the best Kimberlys in the U.S. A like training partner of Punks. They live near each other. And then Shine, who another player I like. He's from New York. Really good Kimberly player. Plays some Chun Li. Played Ed too. Just really, really good dope player. They were kind of the dominant team in regular season. They were the first seed going into playoffs. They had earned basically a spot in grand finals because they finished number one. So basically, everyone else, the other three teams, were competing to get to them. The other teams that made it were Cloud9, Bandits, and Fighting Spirit. Each of them consisting of various players. The ones I want to talk about here are Bandits, right? Because Bandits had a big run. Bandits is a team consisting of Kaba, Mena RD, Louis Mon, and Zen. So Zen is a Chinese player, really good. But the other three, for those who don't know, are Dominican Republic. Mena RD, considered one of the best Street Fighter players in history, the only two-time Capcom Cup champion that I think the game has ever had. And then obviously Kaba's really good at a DR, a friend of Mena RD, and then Louis Mon also really good at a DR. Another, So big representation for the Dominican Republic in Street Fighter. Kind of Mena RD being kind of the face of it. And like, I don't want to call it like a rivalry, right? But like Punk and Mena have gone back and forth quite a bit ever since Street Fighter V. And they, I think, have mutual respect for each other. But like Punk's not afraid to talk his shit, and like Mena RD, I think, is very confident, right?
It's a very
so
fun
they had a little bit of a
rivalry
back and
because of
forth historically, huh?
It's a very fun rivalry because of that.
Yeah, they're very empowered. They are both very confident in their own abilities, things like that.
Yeah.
So at the end of regular season, Bandits was like tied. It was like I think a three-way tie for second, third, and fourth, and then like the tiebreakers just led to Bandits being fourth seed, and FlyQuest was dominantly ahead of everybody with like 290 points. They were easily the best team during the regular season. It wasn't close. So Bandits kind of fights their way through Cloud9 and Fighting Spirit to get this match against FlyQuest, right? And like everyone's looking forward to this shit because it's just like, oh, it's the Dominican team versus FlyQuest. It's Mena RD versus Punk, like so and so. And the set is great. Like I cannot stress this enough. Like people should watch it. It's a fantastic set between them. The thing that's different about in the playoff format, you are competing for because basically during the regular season, right, it's just about building points through as many wins through the team games as you can get, right?
Right.
So in the playoff version, you are competing. You need to be the first team to hit 50 points, and that's how you win until grand finals, and then the point total goes up to 70. So you need to be the first team to hit 70 points. Same format as before. Basically, your first match is worth 10, your second match is worth 10, and then your third match is worth 20, and then tiebreakers are worth 5 if you get to a tiebreaker. So yeah, we get there, and FlyQuest wins pretty convincingly. I believe the point total was 70 for FlyQuest to 20 for Bandits. So I think Kaba basically across the two sets that they played, because they played one set of 3 and then another set of 3. I think Kaba won both of his sets, and he was the only Dominican player to take any wins. Because Mena played against Punk twice and lost twice. Shine played against Zen once Shine played against Zen once and won. Psycho played against Zen once and won. I think, yeah. It wasn't close. Some of the individual games were close. The team as a whole, not too close. Like I said, 70 to 20. Not really close. FlyQuest wins. Big deal, a lot of celebration. Punk is clearly, he jumps down to the crowd at one point and is very excited and talking his shit because he has beaten now Mena twice in this, proving when I say he beat Mena convincingly, I'm not kidding. Like if it was, I think their first matchup was Cammy Blanca. He fucked that Blanca up, made Mena switched to Zangief, got blasted in Cammy versus Zangief. Ran the Zangief again, and it was like a little bit closer. They went to like 2-2, but he ended up winning anyway. Punk ended up winning anyway. And so yeah, he wins. FlyQuest wins. Big moment, big celebration. They're going down the line. They're interviewing, all the members of FlyQuest, and we get to Punk. And so Punk was asked the question. He's like, "Hey, you and Mena have this like little rivalry. So like, what do you have to say on that? And like, what does this mean for the rivalry and stuff right now?" And I have a clip of what he said. You have not heard this, right? This is your first. This is your first reaction.
This is.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay,
this is
great. I'm stoked. I'm so glad you hadn't. I didn't want to tell you not to look it up just in case you saw it, but like, oh boy, I'm glad you get to hear this live. All right, I'm gonna play the clip. Let's listen to what Punk had to say on an open mic on a live stream to a bunch of people in a live auditorium in front of a bunch of people. Let's see what Punk had to say after winning SFL US.
Words of Punk the God.
It's no real rivalry. My rivalry is with the Dominican community, and I want all of them to know that they're very quiet right now, and now they know who's the best in the world, and they ain't gonna say nothing to me no more. Y'all mans is dead. I slayed him. He's done. I'm the GOAT. I don't want to hear nothing from the Dominican community no more, bro. Y'all come in my chat, y'all better worship me on Twitch. That's all I want to know. I don't hear none of y'all in this arena talking, none of that.
Okay. My goodness, Punk the God. Wow.
Yeah.
He sounds like an old Italian from Harlem. Like
he called out
Spanish Harlem.
the entire Dominican community.
You know that one scene in The Sopranos?
Which one?
Tony's walking down the street and this little woman, and he's like, "Hey, como esta?" I can't say the rest of it for YouTube, but she uses some choice words to describe not Dominicans but Puerto Ricans, but it's it's the same kind of energy. Yeah.
Initial thoughts. What do you think?
Listen, man, that is a tall ask. That is a tall ask. The whole Dominican community. Listen, man. There's gonna be a whole lot of tight shirts and bachata music playing in front of Punk's house very soon.
Oh, Twitter's been on. There have been some things on Twitter already since this call out. Shine caught a stray. There was a dude talking some very unsavory, not okay things to Shine in Spanish, and he was like, "I didn't even say nothing." And then I saw in a comment under that, they're like, "Shine, let's be real. He don't know you from Punk. Like he saw a black guy with dreads. Like
how I need a count." First person in the community give me a count on the amount of mama huevos in the chats. I'll Venmo you like $10. I don't know, but I need a mama huevo counter on this beef. Someone has to teach it to Punk. Someone teach it to Punk so next time this happens, he can like let one rip. And
I was
floored. Really funny. That was crazy. That was insane.
Like he I think he knew what was gonna, because like at first, like Rob TV walks up to him first and Punk goes like, nah, interview that, like talking about the rest of his team. He's like, let them talk first. So like I think he knew that like once he had spoken, no one was gonna be allowed to use a microphone after him. So like shout outs to him for having like the foresight and being like, hey, make sure my team gets to say their piece on the win, and then I will fucking burn this stage to the ground.
They get to do the cordial, like proper esports stuff, and then he's like, I'm coming out to talk shit and only shit.
Like
your region,
that dude,
trash.
like I couldn't.
None of
like,
y'all would ever be PR
there's so-
Balrog. Don't play with me.
a dude said, "My rivalry is with the Dominican community."
Not even that team. The entire Dominican Street Fighter community.
He said, "The Dominican Republic is my enemy."
The ops are here. And they're frying up tostones. Mango. Right? He's not coming for no sancocho. He's coming for blood. And let me tell you. That's
There may be
crazy.
some blood.
There's going to be some blood.
Yeah, it was a divisive speech. As many might imagine. You know, when you call out, as we said,
What's the Haitian community think of this? That's like their champion right now, isn't it? Like this is international beef now. Yeah, right. This is like what they wanted. The Haitian Street Fighter scene has to be like celebrating right now.
Is Punk Haitian? I didn't even know.
I don't know if he's Haitian, but I'm saying he called out the Dominicans are his rivals. You know. The only other rivals the Dominican community has, just in general, is the Haitians. Does Punk's grandma do voodoo? Is he up playing with the woo?
He lives in Florida now, so you know. Just saying, like
he might.
Like
Punk.
it.
Punk
is
could be walking
like
out to Street Fighter League with like Kodak playing now. He's gonna have his Zoes with him. This would be crazy.
Yeah, he went. He said what he said. It is. I highly recommend you not only listen. You know, I played the audio. You should watch the video of it too, because the camera pan catches the faces of his teammates. Very funny. There is a legendary photo in there of like Shine, and like Shine, if you know Shine, like I've watched Shine for a while. He's very like nice dude. He's kind of like soft spoken. Really good, like
Respectful
funny dude. But yeah, just generally like a respectful guy for the most part. And there is a shot of like while Punk is saying all this, Shine just has his both his hands covering his mouth, and he's just looking away wide-eyed. Like
this is beef he did not sign up for.
It was very funny too, because like I said, I saw the tweet where Shine is like, "I didn't even say nothing about y'all. Come on." And then I think Punk replied to it, and he's like, "Nah, you in this too, motherfucker. It's too late. I saw you smiling on stage." But yeah, he doubled down. Fucking Punk tweeted a Dominican flag and said, "Y'all quiet now, huh?" Like he was out for like.
Dude,
yeah, like he was.
This is like the reverse of when Puerto Rico beat Dominican Republic in the World Series, and Cardi B took to her Instagram live stream to like literally cry about it.
Oh my god!
And she's like, "I don't want to see no Puerto Rican people in my chat." Yeah, that's real. Look that up. She's like in tears. But
yeah, him talking about
wild.
them having to worship him on Twitch. And I mean,
they're gonna erect a statue of him like they have in Rio, but it's gonna be Punk.
Punk the Redeemer, bro.
Punk the Redeemer. And like one hand has his controller in it, the other hand is just open. Right? Maybe it's a middle finger. I don't know.
It would be a middle finger.
Yeah. That's the thumbnail for this one. I'm redoing the episode 2 thumbnail, but it's gonna be Punk's face.
Dude, like I have tweets pulled up because like there was that one, there was another one that I gotta hit you with right now that is 10. So obviously Blink Respawn, big tournament. It happens in Dominican Republic. It was big last year because it was a Capcom Pro Tour stop, one of the offline events. It is also an offline event this year for Capcom Pro Tour. So Blink Respawn, big tournament out in DR. They tweeted at Punk.
Zero played at controversial figure Zero.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Bodybuilder now.
But yeah, no. So yeah, Blink Respawn, obviously, big tournament.
Yeah.
So in response to his "DR y'all quiet now" tweet, they tweeted at him, "Yo, at Pug the God, you've shown what you're made of. Now come prove it at Blink Respawn 2025.
Not at the
We've got
home
the stage
turf,
ready
bro.
for you in the heart of the DR. Don't miss out." Do you know what Punk replied to that tweet?
No. What did Punk respond to that with?
"I would love to come. Let's negotiate an appearance fee for the king to come slay everyone on the island."
Bro's a conquistador. Dude, this is Punk the Conquistador. He's just
It truly is Punk the Conquistador.
dude. He's on some like Christopher Columbus type shit.
When I say like, I would, people are like, "Oh, it was you." I feel like no matter what, and Grant, like if you know Punk's history, like this is very Punk, and this is why I love Punk. I think Punk is amazing for the scene. Like he's so fucking good. Because he talks that shit, he backs it up, he plays well, like it's all there. Like he's a full package. He keeps the beef interesting. He says what he feels. But yeah, like because you could be like, "Oh yeah, that speech, it's heat of the moment. He just won. He like got a big win." No, it wasn't just heat of the moment. That guy is tweeting about negotiating an appearance fee to go to the DR and slay everyone on the island.
Beat everybody. He hit him with the, "If you want me to show up and beat your entire country at Street Fighter, I'm down. I'll go."
And he said, "Pay me to do it." He said, "Negotiate an appearance fee."
Yeah, no, negotiate appearance fee is crazy.
It's nuts. It's crazy. It's the kind of spice I want. I think Bandits, Bandits the org, obviously, they tweeted at him, of course, because why wouldn't you? And he said, what'd they say? They're just like, "Oh, enjoy the W, but let's see if you can back it up at Capcom Cup." They were talking about like, and he's like, "I already backed everything up. Y'all be watching greatness from the couch because of it." Yeah, he was popping off. He was really popping off.
What an animal, man. What a guy.
Yeah. So yeah, the North versus South rivalry is a cross game thing. It's not just an LTA. It's alive and well in Street Fighter as well.
Oh, yeah, man.
Where Punk is taking on the entire Dominican community.
It's just like,
I feel like go ahead.
no, I was trying to think of like an anime to reference it to, but I don't watch that much anime, so I only have like maybe Bleach, but I haven't seen Bleach, so it was gonna be it was gonna be in bad faith.
I just feel like that is a phrase that is that's a timeless line, right? Like
No,
that
yeah.
you just like.
Oh, who's he signed to? FlyQuest. They gotta start
Yeah.
putting shirts with that, man.
I would, that they won't because like they kind of can't as a business, but like God, you wish, right? Like
Panda Global would have done it. That's all I'm saying.
Like, can you imagine walking around with a shirt that says "My rival is the Dominican community"?
It's like it's Punk's. It's like Punk v DR.
That would be sick as fuck.
And then it's like Punk dropping an elbow on a plate of Mongol.
Dude, imagine too, like, oh my God, like if you were smart, because he beat Big Bird to win his first Evo, right?
Yeah.
And Big Bird is Saudi Arabia. I'm gonna fact check myself, but I believe I'm correct.
I'm on Punk's page right now. Let me see.
Actually, he might be Emirates. No, I think he's okay. He's United Arab Emirates. Okay, sorry.
Just got that.
Yeah, he's
Dubai
UAE.
players.
Yeah.
Of course
So
plays
he
Rashid or whoever that is in that.
Yeah,
game.
he's a Rashid player.
Yeah.
So yeah, he beat Angry Bird to take his Evo, right? He beat DR to take SFL. Let's say he like beats a Japanese player or like a Chinese player or something to take
Dude, this is
to
the
take
World Tour,
Capcom
man.
Cup. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is you just have like you gotta print the Punk versus the World shirt. It's just him
the
like
Scott
you
Pilgrim
know
style.
fucking versus every flag like.
You get Punk with the Infinity Gauntlet putting flags in like the major regions as his Infinity Stones.
Yeah, no, that would be sick. That would be sick. I would love that. Um, yeah, I just mainly wanted to. I don't even know what I could tell you, like because like part of me, like I don't know if there's like a greater. I don't really have much of a greater point to this. All I can tell you is that just like I think this is amazing. Like
It's good
this is
beef.
the kind of beef I want
Yeah,
in
it's
my
great.
fighting games. And I'm glad someone out there is willing to say some shit like this. And yeah, I just wanted to bring it to attention. Yeah, do you have any further thoughts on Punk versus the Dominican community?
As someone who is a Quinn fan in Dota who has constant beef with like the Russian community, this is the type of beef that I want in my esports. Listen, the inter-region beef where arguably good player is calling out a region that he truly believes can't do anything to him is hilarious to me. Whether they can't, because like I'll get
Especially
into when
too,
talk about
I
Dota,
love
but
it because like it goes beyond the play. Because like he said, he's just like, yeah, me and Mena are like fine. Like I don't have a problem with Mena.
Yeah.
My problem is with the Dominican
yeah,
community.
he's
like,
no, Meta, that's my boy. But the rest of y'all, get this work. Come here.
y'all are trash. Make sure when you're in my chat, you address me as king. Like,
What's that RDC World video where he's like, I'm gonna call your name, and then I'm gonna call you trash. This punk is like the Dominican Republic, trash.
garbage. Not a single good player here.
It's foul.
It
foul.
truly foul. Like insane. What we need in to keep things going, dude. Yeah. Fuck, man. That was it. I just needed it. I thought one of the best win speeches we've ever seen.
No, it was great.
And like I said, good sets. Like I know we didn't talk too much about the sets, but like just go watch them. The FlyQuest versus Bandit set is really good. Punk was playing out of his skull. Like Punk was playing insanely good. Just some gross, like just gross spacing with Cammy. Like some of the most insane spacing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
To win that Blanca matchup. Like
Check that out. Blanca's,
But yeah.
Blanca's real hard to space out too, in my opinion, right? Because he's
no,
like,
you gotta know
he's
it. Like
flipping
it's
and
not
dipping
it's
all
not
over.
cut
He's
and
got the
dry.
grabs.
Trying
You
to
know,
figure out,
he
makes it hard to
and,
like
approach
stuff like
when
that.
when he can just like spam the electricity or whatever. Does he still have that in 6?
Yeah, he's got
It's a
the
Street Fighter
little
game. I should
Blanc.
assume
He's
that they
got
have that.
Blanca Chan. He's got Blanca Ball. He's got the
Yup.
command grab. It's all there. But yeah, that was what I needed to voice it because yeah, that is a 10 out of 10 way to end your Street Fighter League US. Hopefully, I'm stoked to see them play because obviously now we have the World Street Fighter World competition where the winner of each region is going to play. And I'm stoked for that. I hope to see FlyQuest do well there too. I know that's like a part of Capcom Cup. So
Yeah.
hopefully that
exciting.
shit goes well. Yeah. They're a damn good team. They're a damn good team, which is why I'm stoked to see them in the international portion because I think that team is like everyone on that team hits and it's like very, very good.
It's funny that they're an NA team except in Counter-Strike. The Counter-Strike team I think is
What? FlyQuest?
Yeah, I think their Counter-Strike team is European or something. Maybe Oceania.
That wouldn't surprise me.
But
I'm always down for FlyQuest. Like I said, their league team's great. They're big fighting game supporters. So like I always get behind an org that's actively going to back not just one but multiple fighting game players. You know, they've got Street Fighter players, they've got Guilty Gear players, they've got Smash players. Like
Right on.
you know,
No.
yeah. Any org that's back in the FGC, I'm obviously going to give mad props to.
There's not many of them because it's like, why would we just have one guy on payroll?
We are often exploited for our EWC slots, and that's about it.
You get signed for it, and then
you get signed for a year. The second that the EWC is gone, you disappear until you manage to earn another slot, solo, unorganized, and then suddenly you have another contract for a year.
You know, pay for your own tournament tickets and travel and everything, right? We do it because we love the game. These guys are playing at the top level, right? Give them a break.
Oh yeah.
You think LeBron James should pay for his own flight to the games? Probably. But,
no,
no.
Yes, because it's LeBron specifically.
Yes.
That's neither here nor there.
It's LeBron.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. Like I said, any org that is actively supporting the FGC, you have my respect. And FlyQuest has some damn good players, especially one in Punk. Just a great dude to have around your scene. Keeps things interesting, fun, and you can't ask for someone who talks shit any better. Like, I don't know.
All right, I've got a couple things before we start wrapping this up.
Yeah, we can hit the roundup portion of the show. This is where we talk about the little things that maybe aren't on a full topic, but
little
news, a little bit of this, that, and the other thing.
But then we're like, wouldn't it make more sense to just get into the meat and potatoes and leave this for dessert? So that's what we're doing.
Hell yeah.
First up on the menu, Dota. Dota just got a huge patch. And actually, should I do Dota or Counter-Strike first? Because Counter-Strike just had a tournament end, and Dota just had the patch. Because Dream League is still going on.
We can do the Dota patch. We can talk about the League patch right after, and then we can do Counter-Strike, I guess.
Okay, we can finish up with the... Yeah, because their tournament ended, so we can end it with the tournament grand finals. Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah. Dota just had a massive patch, and it's funny because we recorded our MOBA episode, which will be out at some point, or it should already be out by the time this goes up. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out. There was also a deadlock update as the day of recording this, so it completely invalidated my entire point on that game from that episode, which is really funny. Like a week after we recorded it, and
game in progress. This is how it goes.
They're playing it for money, by the way.
We play this game for money.
Yeah, no, they just removed a whole ass lane. Like it's nuts. But yeah, no, Dota had the Wandering Waters. Their Twitter post was like a Dune joke. It's also like in their on the website. Like it's real funny. They're like, we found water like Dune or something like that. Like it's kind of stupid. But big map changes. Most Dota like major updates come with a pretty drastic map change, along with either a new hero or items or some kind of gimmick mechanic that they've added. This time it's a map-based gimmick where they added, and I don't know if you saw the map, but I will try to send a picture of it to you.
I believe I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, with the two rivers in the side lanes.
Yes. I did see this updated map. Yeah, with the two new rivers. Yeah.
There's a main river, and that bleeds out into two more rivers that snake around and go up to the side lanes and then run parallel to the side lanes once they reach their like final area. So initially when they released the patch that increased the map size 40%, they added a new jungle to the other side of the side lanes. So there was like a secondary jungle there. Now there's a river that floods the entire back portion of that jungle, and there's a new camp in it, the Polywog Priests, or no, that's the Han character. The Polywog, Boglet, and Croaker camp. That is what it is called.
That's good names.
Yeah, they've got like cool abilities. One puts a shield, kind of like Abaddon's shield. The other one has kind of like a torrent thing, but I think it's unit target instead of like ground target AoE. So it's pretty cool. Um, they also give you buffs. I'm not too sure the number or what it is because I briefly read the patch notes because I've been working on these episodes. But we also got a change to neutral items, which is very good. Universal heroes, as many people might know, were a problem for a long time just because they get stats from all the different attribute types, which means that their damage scaling was insane. I was a Bane abuser. They have since ruined it for me, and I refuse to play this game now. No, I'm just kidding. Just play Bane mid. You run like tons of agi items so that you have ridiculous amounts of attack speed and armor. I digress, right? They changed the way that wisdom runes work now. They changed the way Tormentor spawns, and they changed Roshan. Also, the rivers and the side lanes give you a movement speed buff if you walk the right way. So if you follow the current,
That's very funny.
You walk like 20%
Some
faster.
Dota ass shit.
Yeah, but it's only going one direction. So if you walk the other way, you're just walking normally. But it helps with like rotations and getting to fights from like base or from the jungle, like in the side lanes, to something happening in the lane itself. It's pretty cool. I don't hate it. I'm not a pro player, so it doesn't really affect me to that big of a degree because I don't know how to utilize this properly. I'm trash. But the people that do know how to utilize it are kind of struggling because Dream League is going on right now, as I mentioned earlier, and this patch came out like smack dab in the middle of it, and they play on current patch. So an update came out, a major update came out, tons of balance changes, right? And they've just been running crazy shit at this tournament, and I love to see crazy shit at the tournament. So I'm all for it.
Not for sure.
That being said, it's also Dream League and not like an ESL. Like it's an ESL event, but it's not an ESL like an IEM or a ESL 1 or anything like that. So it's just for EPL points, which everybody gets. Everybody gets paid, so it's not like the biggest issue that a patch came out and kind of like spun the meta on its head mid-tournament. But it is kind of shitty for like the teams that were kind of scraping by gaming. And, dude, their support player left. Celery left the team, or is taking a break. He's moved to inactive, and they had to play with a stand-in mid-tournament also. So like this patch came out, and Celery's like, I'm tired of Dota for a bit. I'm gonna go and like be a father or something. I don't know what he does on his free time, but it's something. And then they got like this new guy who's standing in for them in the meantime. And it was like fine, it was kind of working, but they just been, ever since they got rid of Diraccio, it's been a mess. But Dragon Knight, get into some of the hero balance real quick. Dragon Knight is a problem, sitting at a almost 70% win rate. They buffed the shit out of him. His Fire Dragon facet is ridiculous. Who else we got? I saw a Phoenix offlane played today by Paravision, but Paravision likes to draft crazy shit, so they probably would have done it anyways.
Right. But the pool's getting weird out there. That's where we're at.
Yeah, there's something in the water. And
motherfuckers are throwing whatever they can at whatever lane they want it to go.
Marcy's like a good carry now. Like she's a good like flex. So you can be a great carry with like an IO, and she can also be like a phenomenal support with her facets. So the versatility of a lot of the characters, like they've kind of dialed in the facets a bit more, which is really cool because it's a new gimmick. Everybody has like a passive now, kind of like League. And then everyone also has like a secondary passive or thing that they can take that will alter their playstyle. And
cool.
you know me with Dota. I love it because of the flexibility. And when facets first came out, it kind of locked you into a few things. But they took out a lot of the funny facets, like the reverse polarity on Magnus. That instead of being a group AOE like pull and stun, would push people out.
Hmm.
And some teams tried to make it work, but it was just ridiculous and didn't.
Yeah.
But now they've since like remedied some of that. Jakiro's real good. You can play Jakiro carry, Jakiro mid, or Jakiro support. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of new characters that came out. Kez and Ringmaster got their facets. Not seeing a lot of them. There was like 1 or 2 Ringmaster games, but either way, Lifestealer still top of his game. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good patch. It's kind of dialing in the previous like major patch with the facets and innates. So it's just good. The game feels a bit better. Craziest thing about it though is my least favorite hero, Mr. Pudge, is sitting at, I think on day 1 was at like a 70% win rate and then has since gone down to, it's still above 50, but it's not like 60 or anything. It's like 57, 55, right? Um Imagine with me if you will, Tony, right?
Hmm.
Who's like, think of Cho'Gath, right? Cho'Gath constantly gets bigger, gets more health, right? That's the Pudge flesh heaps stack thing in Dota. But imagine if Cho'Gath spikes were an AoE toggle and
Okay.
he gained bonus damage while it was active. Like bonus right click. And then you could just build him full attack speed like an ADC, but you still got all the buffs of being like a hyper scaling tank. That's what we're faced with.
Well,
That's what
yeah,
we're faced with.
that doesn't sound great.
Yeah, so now we've got Blitzcrank with, with Neji's ability, and it's a great time. It's a great time. I hate Pudge. I ban this character every chance I can get. So I haven't had to deal with it, but I've seen it and it's disgusting, just like this fat fucking pig is. And I want it out of my game. I want it fixed.
No, I mean, it seems fucked up. Seems not fun. Doesn't seem like a good time. I could understand why you're not about that.
This is all I really had to say about the patch. It's good so far. Some things are fucked up and evil, but I'm not complaining too much. Overall I
Fair.
like it. I don't like seeing more Silencer and Pudge, but it is what it is.
What is Dota without some fucked up and evil?
Oh yeah, no, this game is same dark universe and
legendary
yeah.
post.
Side tangent on that. I was on the Han subreddit because I follow it to see the updates on Han Reborn, and someone was posting in English as a second language and saying how Han is the true Dota 2 and Dota 2 is a terrible game and every other MOBA that exists is bad compared to Han because Han is set in the same dark universe as Warcraft and original Dota and this, that, and the other. And the response to that was someone agreeing with them by saying that League is too responsive and feels bad. And that kind of sent me over an edge.
Yeah.
Where I was in a violent rage about how that makes sense. How does
Listen, man, it's too responsive. The game feels too accurate to what I want it to do.
I was trying to make a car analogy to that, but at this point I'm certain this guy drives a shitbox that you gotta crank that shit all the way to the right if you want to make that turn. Zero power steering. Never even heard of it.
Well, in addition to that, in a similar dark universe, but not quite the same, League of Legends. The only thing I wanted to bring up was
The mean streets of Arcane.
yeah, the mean streets of Arcane, the Summoner's Rift. We have hit that point in time where Riot Games has officially said, "All right, we get it. Fucking shoot lane swaps in the head and move on with our lives." And they have rolled out. They have basically rolled out anti lane swap mechanics. where essentially fort buff has been removed from all turrets. If 2 non-jungler champions appear in the top or mid lane, the outer turret gains a 95% damage reduction. The attacks become immediately fully charged. They deal 300% more damage to minions. The enemy champ's gold and XP is reduced to 50%. Defending minions and turrets kills will redirect all gold to nearest allied champ. Defending champ gains 20% bonus gold and XP. And the detection starts at 1 minute and 30 seconds and ends at 4 minutes for top. And it starts at 2 minutes and 25 seconds for mid. Or no, sorry, it ends at 2. Yeah, it ends at 2 minutes and 25 seconds for mid.
You don't see the vision.
Image, yeah. And there's like an image that has like kind of the rough detection of it. Basically, like the turret detects like if you're on blue side, the detection extends to about the halfway point of the bush going into river, and all as far back as like essentially as far back as the inner turret. Not the base one, but the one just outside of that, between the outer and the base turret.
The tier 2.
Yeah. The tier 2. It extends about there. Pretty much the same thing for top lane. Top lane, it extends as far as the other side of the river, and as far back as pretty much the tier 2 turret. So yeah, yes, it is everyone acknowledges it is a very ham-fisted way of fixing lane swaps. And to Riot's credit, before everyone freaks out, they have said, Froxon, I think, was the one I saw tweeting about it, and he goes, yes, like, we understand that these changes are drastic, and that's because they're temporary. We need something to deal with lane swaps now, and this will deal with them now while we figure out a more elegant solution going forward. And when we have a more elegant solution, we will remove these and put in the more elegant solution. I would be like, it's one of those things, I guess, what is your thoughts? Because I'm fucking over lane swaps, so like I'm like, fine, like whatever we gotta do, like it is what it is. Yeah, but holy shit, they are some crazy fucking force ass changes.
It's, I was gonna make the joke that they're not seeing the vision. This is low key a support buff. If you lane swap your support for your bot lane is the closest allied champion, so they're just gonna get all the money. But
you would have to what if you like put them like top or something?
Yeah, it's just just a silly. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they are drastic, but like what else are you gonna do, right? They didn't intend the game to be played like this, and instead of like leaning into it, right? Because League just as a game, we talked about this before, isn't balanced around stuff like that. Like it's not.
I also think balance aside, like it's just not fun to watch. I don't think it's fun to play. Like it's
if especially like if you're like an aspiring top laner, right? And you want to learn top lane matchups.
Yeah, top lane's miserable right now. Yeah,
your top lane isn't playing in top lane, so it doesn't matter, right?
Like no, I mean you're right. Like as a top laner, you're right. It's fucked. Basically, it's if you're a top laner and you get drafted into a bad matchup, you just go, all right, well, I'm going bot. Like fuck it, I don't care. Like see you when I'm level 6. Like it's and like that's what's really sucked about it is you really miss out on like like you get hyped when, especially in international competition, where you're like, oh, I want to see the best top laners in the world go one-on-one against each other. I want to see the best bot lanes in the world go one-on-one against each other in lane. That shit doesn't have to happen anymore, because if they don't like the matchup, they'll just fucking leave. Like they just won't fight them, period. Like so yeah, I definitely think you kind of have to do something about it. This seems like a decent way to like do something about it while not being intrusive for the entirety of the game. But like
you gotta force their hand.
Yeah, it's definitely a forced hand. It's definitely like it's definitely fat fingered. It's not really elegant. It's definitely slapped on. But like I said, they acknowledge that themselves. They said as much. Like we know we're working on something, but like we understand that we need changes like now. like going into this international event, and this is what we have.
Yeah.
I will say, funny tweet I saw. Speaking of, Sven, who I was talking about earlier, Cloud9's ADC, who is a very funny guy. He tweeted, he retweeted, basically a tweet that showed the image of the detection zones as well as all the changes, and his tweet was, "Why don't they just shoot bot laners in the head IRL if they go top?" Which I thought was really good. It's a good tweet.
You have the like, what's that guy's like VR helmet that has like the cattle?
Oh my
thing
god,
on it,
the
with the spike.
Oh god, what is
You
his name? That fucking
you just
freak.
Put that thing.
Palmer Lucky, yeah.
Yeah, you just put that thing on onto all the ADCs.
The ADCs and supports, and if they fucking
The
if
one
the
with
ADC and
one they
support.
the one
It's
they
a-
cross Dragon Pit is like the lading phase. It just activates.
Yeah, it's like if you enter another lane before 5 minutes, it just primes and fires.
You hear the countdown in your ears like a saw trap.
Yeah, they do. It does the like Apex out of bound thing where it sets off an alarm and tells you have 4 seconds to leave the lane.
Return to mission area. They get that flashing on their screen, like they can't play. It's just a bright red screen, like instead of the Vanguard protection thing, it just says return to mission area.
Don't leave your lane for the first 5 minutes, bro. Don't do it. That was really it. I thought it was worth talking about because it is some pretty crazy changes, and it will definitely affect first stand the international event 100%. Because I mean, with that shit, lane swaps are dead, like legit, like just dead. There's really no way around it. Like, so we are officially moving out of the lane swap era.
W.
Yeah.
W.
Honestly, no, I agree with you.
Some
I am in
good old-fashioned League of
agreement.
Legends.
W for sure. I'm glad we're getting out.
Right, like you look up top guides right now, and every YouTuber's like, "All right, welcome to what was his name, Night Blue or whatever."
Oh yeah.
He's not even a top laner. Still, he's a YouTuber. I know that much. My league knowledge is limited outside of the LTA at this point. But you watch one of his guides, and he's like, "All right, first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna go top lane, see who you're laning against, walk bottom."
Is this matchup
Step
bad?
two.
I
Step
leave.
two.
Yeah.
Walk to the bot lane. Doesn't matter if it's bad or not, because even if it's a good matchup, your ADC's in a bad matchup, so they're gonna walk top.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
The side laning guide is walk into lane, flip a coin. If good, stay. If bad, leave. Someone's leaving. Doesn't matter who. No one's sticking there.
It's the truth. Yeah. All right.
I just remembered a crucial thing from Dota. I forgot to mention this real quick. The Roshan changes.
Oh yeah.
Are pretty silly because they move the pits back into river. There's 2 of them now. There's a radiant one and a dire one. And instead of walking through the gates, the twin gates or whatever that they had that would send you from side lane to side lane because the map is gigantic now, he just walks through the river, and if you are in the way, he picks you up and throws you.
That's pretty badass. I'm into that.
And when you land, it does true damage.
It's pretty badass. I'm into that.
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's great.
So is he? Because you said there's 2. Are there 2 Roshans on the map?
No. He walks back and forth day.
Oh, he is walk.
Yeah,
I
so
thought
every
you were
day.
saying like when he enters, he like walk. You're saying he just walks between the 2 pits.
He physically walks between them. Yeah, so like it will turn to night, and Roshan will start walking from bot lane.
Oh,
to
so
top
it's
lane.
based on. So if
Through
it's
mid
day,
lane.
he's in like the radiant pit, and if it's night,
Yeah.
he's in the other one.
Exactly.
That's
That's
cool.
That's what it used to be, but he would take the little like portals.
Oh,
And
okay.
he would,
Now they
he
just
would charge
physically
through the
made him
portals like
walk
he left
through the
something on the
river, and if
stove.
you get in his way, he tosses your dumbass.
Yeah, he picks you up and throws you. It's
pretty sick.
hilarious.
Yeah, I'm into that.
There's a team fight
That's good.
happening, and the time changes. that team fight has to either end very quickly or Roshan
Or
is
he's
walk
gonna
through
just
and start,
bust
like,
through everybody.
yeah, no, he will. There's a if you go to like the website, there is a clip of him just doing that. It's very silly. It's very silly. Great
That's
change.
really good, actually.
Yeah, no, it's I haven't seen it in pro because they're usually watching
I
silent.
was gonna say, yeah, you're probably
Yeah.
gonna be playing on stricter
Mid-lane-
timers for that, for sure.
Mid lane, unfortunately, in Dota is not very exciting to watch unless you're watching select mid laners.
Yeah, I feel like mid lane matchups in Dota is like, if they're gonna be exciting, it's gonna be in the first minutes, and then a guy's gonna get ahead, and then that lane is just cooked, and like now
Yeah.
there's no more excitement because why would they fight someone that they can't win against?
Yeah, it's like they fight for rune timings, but it's like whoever has better rune control is kind of just like in somewhat of a lead. But if their wave management is bad, then the other person's in a lead. But it doesn't matter because there's too much micro going on that the mid lane is nuanced. You need to be very refined with your Dota.
Is a cultured mid lane.
It is the Dota's mid lane matchups are the fine wine of MOBAs. Tell you that much.
That's W. That's W shit.
All right. To round this whole thing
Now,
out,
say,
though,
close us out. Give us the finale.
Cluj-Napoca. Shout out the Romanians.
Ciao.
Just came to an end. It ended yesterday, I believe, or this weekend. I think it ended this weekend. 23rd. When was that? 2 days ago. So yeah. It's Sunday. Mouse versus Falcons. Falcons just acquired Nico off of G2. You know, we don't have to do the song and dance with Falcons. We all know the deal with Falcons at this point. Saudi super team, hiring the best of the best in any esport, and somehow none of them play well together.
True. Actually true, though.
We're Big Three era Miami, but worse.
Oh, God.
Because, you know, that was actually good.
I would say, yeah, it's Big Three era Miami if they won no rings.
If they won no rings, yeah. If like the Big Three happened when Shaq was still playing, and then you'd have like Shaq, Kobe, which you did for a while, and maybe and LeBron, right? Which is like a crazy group, and all three of them kind of just want to hold the ball for the entire game. So. But yeah, that's Falcons right now. No, Falcons in CS does pretty well. They're a bunch of CS veterans. They know how to play on a team. They know how to play together. Most of them have played together probably at some point. At least the Danes have. I did not know Nico was Bosnian. That's news to me. Yeah. So they've got new talent, new roster, not entirely, and then Mouse, who made one small adjustment, much like Falcons. They made a small adjustment. They got rid of Shuhei, which I was very shocked at. I didn't know Shuhei was off the team. And they acquired Spinks off of Vitality. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? Because we know Vitality in recent times has been top of their game. End of last year, kind of pulling through in a lot of events, second place finishes at most of them throughout the year, and this year they took IEM Katowice, whatever.
Katowice? I don't know.
And over Team Spirit, which, as we know, Donk, right? Shiro, all those guys.
The gods.
Crazy team. Yeah, the gods. Like the current
final boss
right?
of your
New
Counter-Strike land, essentially.
So young Simple, you know, loses to Vitality, and now we've got Mouse and Falcons. Vitality, Spirit, G2, nowhere to be found here. It's Mouse Falcons. Mouse gets rid of Shuhei. They then put Brolin as their IGL, who has kind of just been dying for the chance to be IGL. Which is, you know, good for him because
get your opportunity.
He really pulled through on this one. Their current roster for the uninitiated is Torzi, Zershin, Jimfat, who had an incredible game. Oh my god, that series it was a best of 5. Mouse take it 3-1. Jimmy went insane, fragging out of his mind, especially on like the last 2 maps. Just very, very clean CS, man. Very clean CS, and he was putting holes in heads.
Hell yeah.
Brolin, the IGL, and Spinks, who is the new addition, right? And again, one of the youngest teams in the league right now. I think they're like on average with Mongols. Yeah, they pulled through. The rounds went. Let me get this information for you. I was trying to pull it up, and I kept clicking on the organization, and it just wasn't helping. Map 1 goes to Mouse, 13-6 on Dust 2. Second map goes away at Falcons on Mirage, 13-4. The last 2 maps, Nuke and Ancient, 13-11 Nuke, and 13-9 on Ancient. No overtime.
No,
Nuke was close because Nuke is like Nico's best map. And
T-sided is all hell. Yeah. Or no.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the wrong map.
It depends on who you
Nuke's.
ask,
I was
right?
saying
Because
Nuke's CT is fuck. Historically.
Nuke is CT as fuck, but like
Yeah.
the strats you pull outside kind of even it out. Like I don't know, Nuke. You just gotta know Nuke.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it does have a CT advantage. You get to your spots to hold
Super
a lot quicker
fast
than the T's will get there. So no, I get you. And then Ancient, my favorite map, Ancient, aka Green
Good
Mirage.
Map. Yeah.
Aka potentially second best map in the game, but nobody wants to have that conversation.
Oh, shit.
It would have gone a train if it went the distance, but unfortunately it didn't.
I like that map too.
I'm a bit either way on train. Not my favorite. I like it more than Cash. Shoot me for that, but it is what it is. All right, let me pull the HLTV stats on this. I should have this ready, but I'll do the Ancient game because that's the one that won them the championship. You are looking at a 1.9 to 0.96 rating between the two teams.
Damn.
Yeah. Xertion, 22 kills. Jimfat, 17 kills. Spinks, 16 kills. Right? Lock the fuck in. 1.5 rating on Xertion. 1.35 rating on Jimfat. Right? Spinks, that was an average game for him. 0.9, going 60, he went 16 to 14. It's a little rough, but
Yeah.
still, that was just an average game. Championship level play right there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that really took me out of the game, though, which I thought was really funny, right? I really enjoyed Shuhei. I thought Shuhei was a great personality. I don't know things internally on the team. Apparently, they said the team didn't say this. The casters were saying this, that Shuhei was holding them back. They were ripping into Shuhei the entire broadcast.
Oh my god.
Like it was rough. Like watching them, like every time they would like win a gunfight, win a round, win a game, they were like, Shuhei would have made that call.
That's
Like,
like crazy to do on a broadcast. Like, are you supposed to be like a bias? Like,
Brolin
what
has
the
stepped up and done what Shuhei couldn't.
Oh my god.
like it was like a whole thing. It was nuts. But yeah, it was a good game. One of the youngest teams on average age in the competitive like tier 1 circuit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, they played at top level for a long time. They came very close many times, right? They won a lot last year. They did win Pro League, which is, winning Pro League is like being top seeded in the regular season for basketball, right?
Yeah.
It's whatever. They won Bet Boom Dacha Belgrade, which was, had Spirit, had Falcons, had some bigger teams there, but they beat Spirit in that tournament, but it wasn't like it was like a very Eurocentric, like not super international, right? Very European tournament, mostly CIS region too. So like, with the exception of MIBR, right? Second place at, what is that? Intel Chengdu. And then second place again. They after Bet Boom. Sorry, Chengdu. I should have said first, but after Bet Boom, like no results, like nothing, straight drought until IEM Rio, where they come second place to Navi. And then, you kind of see that slump, and then maybe they're getting there, but then you see the slump again when, the major Blast Premier coming into this year, Blast Bounty, IEM, and now they made the switch. They made it happen. They beat Falcons, right? Again,
right.
Big name. Falcons not putting up huge numbers, but
I mean, it's still like an all-star team.
It's an all-star team, right? This is like beating what should be the 98 Bulls, right? This is big for them. Great games though. Great games. Not a super long watch, so if you are curious about CS, you can check out that grand final. Goes 4 maps, so you can kind of get like that tug of war. Mao's kind of decisively close it out in the next 2 games though. Nuke is a phenomenal map to watch. It's back and forth. It really could have been anyone's game. I was kind of hoping for an overtime, but I wanted to see him on train. But Mao's hadn't played on train, so that also would have been
maybe one-sided. Yeah,
it would have been more Falcons-sided, so it could have gone different. But then you would also have me yapping about Falcons finally winning something. So, I just like good CS. I like watching good CS. I like when CS is exciting, and Cluj-Napoca definitely was. Now on the docket for the rest of CS, we don't have anything really of note, in my opinion. It's just another EPL Blast Open. PGL Bucharest is coming up, but I'm real excited for IEM Melbourne. That one's going to be tight.
The Rumble Down Under.
Yeah. You're a fan of aesthetics. You're a fan of like land things, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Nothing too crazy in terms of like the aesthetics, but the fans out in Cluj replicated the beer snake from Cologne 24, but with Heineken cans, and they stacked them up like 2 stories. Like they had tall boy Heinekens going from like the ground.
And this is in Melbourne.
This one's in Cluj. This is the most recent tournament. If you go and watch any of those games, watch them like pan the camera around. There's a point where you just see a stack of Heinekens that is cut off right before a doorway, right? And it's above the doorway. It's going higher.
Yeah, I got it. Right?
As the games went on, they just had a train of beers. There was a game that went on so long that the casters just started like slamming heinies.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was nuts. Crazy.
It's my kind of esports.
I love a good esport when the casters get to have a beer.
I like my, I'm a B stream watcher, bro. I like my casters loose.
We like
loose and informed.
Yeah, we like them. We like them raw.
I like it raw. I like it real. Like I said, loose and informed. That's a good way to put it. Loose and informed. Mm-hmm. Know what you're talking about, but have fun with it. Have a good time.
Yes, sir. And that about do it. I think we know what we're talking about. We're real. We're raw. We're loose and informed about esports.
Ain't that the
Hot Keys Esports. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.